Hello, Year 8s. I want to talk about converting units. So I've drawn this little thing here to remember. We've got kilometres over here, and there's 1,000 metres in every kilometre. So if I have 1 kilometre, I've got 1,000 metres. So to get from kilometres to metres, you multiply by 1,000. To get from metres to centimetres, there's 100 centimetres in a metre, you multiply by 100, and from centimetres to millimetres, you multiply by 10. Working backwards, you divide. Okay, pretty straightforward. I've put these dots in here to represent the other units of measure that we have not written down. When I write them on the board, you seem to get confused, so I'm leaving them out. But I like to have them there because then I remember for every dot, for every unit, I just multiply or divide by 10. And then I just move my decimal point 1 space for every unit. But we can do it this way. Let's start with the question. We've got 3.6 kilometres. How many metres? Well, to get from kilometres to metres, we multiply by 1,000, which means we move our decimal point 1, 2, 3 spaces. So write the digits down, put the decimal point where it is, and move it 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3, and those empty spaces get zeros. 3,600 metres. And working back, I have 540 centimetres, and we want to know how many metres that is. To get from centimetres to metres, follow this line here, divide by 1,000, or follow this bit here and divide by 10, divide by 10 again. So I'm going to start with my digits, with my decimal point in the spot where it is in the number, which is at the end, and I'm going to move it back 1, 2 spaces. That's how I divide by 100. So the decimal point is going to end up there. So the answer is going to be 5.4 metres. Okay, easy enough. Now for square units. Hold on. Okay, here is a square centimetre. And I did something like this on the board. I asked you how many square millimetres are there? And some of you said, oh, there's 10, because there's 10 millimetres in a centimetre. So if we write 1 centimetre on this side and 1 centimetre on this side, when you convert, when you're converting, we need to convert both of these units, both side lengths. So 1 centimetre is the same as 10 millimetres, and this 1 centimetre is also the same as 10 millimetres, which means I've got 10 millimetres there and 10 going across this way. And you know that if I multiply 10 by 10, I'm going to get 100. So 1 centimetre squared equals 100 square millimetres. Luckily, you can use this thing over here to work it out. So because there are 2 dimensions, because I am converting to millimetres and multiplying by 10, not once but twice, I just kind of use the same little caterpillar, this thing here, but I do it twice. So 1 centimetre equals how many millimetres? I start at centimetres, and instead of multiplying by 10 once, I multiply by 10 twice. Or the way I would do it is I move my decimal point twice for a square number. 1, 2. So 1 centimetre, I write my digit here, and I multiply by 10 2 times. 1, 2, 100 square millimetres. Let's do another example. Yeah. 4.3 square metres equals how many square centimeters. Now, whatever I have to do to get from meters to centimeters, I've now got to do it twice, once for each dimension. So I start with my numbers, 4.3, and I move my decimal point from meters to centimeters. I move my decimal point 2 spaces normally for one dimension, and now I do it 2 spaces for each dimension. So I've got to move my decimal point 4 spaces, or I times by 100, and then I times by 100 again, right? Twice, because there's 2 dimensions. So I've got to move my decimal point 4 times now. 1, 2, 3, 4. The answer is 43,000 square centimeters. Let's go back. Let's do, 360,200 meters, square meters, to get to square kilometers. So to get from meters to kilometers, we divide by 1,000 with 3 zeros, 3 jumps. Now we're going to do it twice, so we're going to go back 6 spaces. We're going to divide by not 1,000, but by a 1 with 6 zeros, which is 1,000,000. So we're going to start here and move the decimal point back 6 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The answer is 0.3602. We don't need to write the other zeros. Kilometers squared. Now, in 3 dimensions, guess how many times we have got to do the little caterpillar thing. I'll just rub this out and we'll do an example. Um, 2.4 cubic centimeters. So that is a 3-dimensional shape. 2 millimeters cubed. So to go from centimeters to millimeters, here it is here, times by 10. Now we're doing it 3 times, times by 10, and then times by 10 again, and then times by 10 a 3rd time, and we're going to get 2,400 cubic millimeters. Cubic centimeters to cubic meters. Let me just make some room, get the shape out the way. Let's see, to get from centimeters to meters, I divide by 100. So now I'm going to divide by 100 3 times. Starting here, divide by 100, divide by 100, divide by 100 again, and the answer is 0.36 cubic meters. So whatever you do for a linear length, if there's 2 dimensions, you do it twice. And then if it's 3 dimensions, you do it 3 times. I hope that helps.